major issues with our overlays here, but you know, I kind of figured out a workaround. We're just going to use this basic overlay package here to just at least bring you the action. Ladies and gentlemen, do apologize about that, but I do believe we are on the white flag for the final lap of stage 1. Definitely glad to be back, Big Al. Looks like Chris Rivera has been utterly dominating it thus far. As I do believe the closest battle on the racetrack, Greg Wachinski and Andrew. I done lost his name again. What is it again?
Bedrosian.
Mr. Bedrosian. Almost like Bloody Mary. You say it 3 times, it's going to show up in your mirror. But I appreciate everybody bearing with us here. I do believe, like I said, this is the white flag for stage 1. Chris Rivera right now out 18 seconds of a lead as he has been turning some really, really quick lap times. Jose Acosta doing a great job sitting in 2nd place. Brian Johnson right now in 3rd. Andrew Bedrosian in 4th place. Greg Wachinski's in 5th. Gary Adamson sitting in 6th place right now. Robert Pattengale in 7th. Paul Olson, our last man, in 8th.
Are we doing stages?
We definitely usually don't have the voice chat on. I actually had that turned off beforehand. We'll go ahead and turning that off now.
The caution will come out.
Okay.
Do apologize about that. We are just all I am just all thumbs today. This is not Big Al's fault. This is just I'm a victim of circumstance, or it is my fault completely. But we see the 60 Bedrosian missing the corner a little bit there as Greg Wachinski tries to catch up here. The caution flag should be waving any time now. And there it is. Chris Rivera, your stage 1 winner, able to bring it home in dominating fashion. And, of course, as we mentioned before, caution laps do not count, which definitely makes it a little bit easier for these guys to be able to catch up. But once they actually have gotten their pit stops underway, we will definitely talk with Mr. Chris Rivera and hopefully get a good word from him and kind of see what the track feels like here tonight. Definitely looks like he is definitely doing a great job. I always hated that Chris Rivera is not able to race on Thursdays, Big Al, because, you know, I feel like he would definitely stack up well against a lot of those drivers.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dewey calls, so Mr. Rivera is not actually able to join us in that Thursday series. But yeah, I think it would be awesome if we would actually have some events maybe where we'd get these guys racing together. What a very interesting stage 1, though. I think we've had everything from the slaying of poor Bedrosian to like I don't know, black screens. It's just it's been quite interesting to say the least.
It has definitely been a journey, to say the least. That is for sure. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back, and we'll be back with Chris Rivera.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Green pit stops have not taken place as of yet. So interesting to see. Definitely taking these guys a while to get back caught up to the pace car, but I do believe the majority of the drivers have gotten caught up to that Porsche there. And Big Al, I do believe you're actually driving that Porsche here tonight, aren't you?
Well, I wanted to be, but they unfortunately they said that I didn't meet the minimum height requirement.
Oh man, that just too big for the Porsche, huh?
Well, I mean, I thought that they said I wasn't tall enough, but I'm 6'4", so I don't know what's really going on. I just don't think they wanted me to drive it. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I got behind the wheel of a Porsche, I don't think I'd be able to drive it on, pace speed.
Yeah, I think they knew that if Big Al got behind that wheel of that pace car, they probably wouldn't see it around the track much longer.
That might be the first instance where we see the pace car win the race. And we still see that Fanatec 62 going around this racetrack, waiting until we can get these guys down pit road and get these cars serviced. Tire wear has not been the hugest factor here, I do believe, especially on Thursday. We definitely didn't see a lot of tire wear kind of happening there. Curious if it'll be a little bit different here. I know the track conditions right now, 109 degrees.
Yeah, with that new tire model that we got, Brian, the tires are actually lovely. I mean, the cars are handling great. I know when we first started this season, a lot of guys were having a lot of trouble with the Gen 7s. Even heard a lot of drivers saying that, they were just going to sit it out and go back and run Xfinity or trucks. But with the updates, and I do love my sim, my racing has definitely done their job, because every update makes this car more and more of a dream to drive, in my personal opinion. Now, that damage model, though, a lot of people might not still appreciate that.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I know on Thursday we saw, a litany of guys having some problems where their tire even got separated from the axle there. And, hard to drive that machine after something like that. I do believe that actually incurs 8 minutes of required repairs. Chris Severa has gotten himself off pit road. Let's go ahead and grab him up. Well, he was available to us, but I do believe he has somehow disappeared. There he is. Wonder where he went there. Mr. Chris Severa, Stage 1 victory. We weren't able to see a lot of Stage 1. We had a lot of technical difficulties, unfortunately, but we did catch the end of that stage and saw you cross the start-finish line with about 18 seconds over everybody else. How's the car treating you out here tonight? Seems like it's treating you well.
Yeah, it's good. It's not rotating as much as I would like, so I'm getting a little squirrely on the exits because of that, but other than that, no, it's good.
It definitely seems like it's running really well from what little we have seen. Any problem zones? I know you said it's not rotating very well. I mean, are you worried about making a mistake trying to hit your P's and Q's?
No, it's just me against the track right now. I'm just trying not to go off. Almost got a little bit of a slowdown going into, I think it's turn 5, the second big braking zone downhill, just trying to mess with track limits. But other than that, though, no problems.
It doesn't seem like anybody has anything for you out here, but you definitely seem like you got a lot of pace for sure. I mean, how much time did you put into actually practicing to get ready for this racetrack here tonight?
We ran a couple A opens. There's good competitive people over there. Other than that, it was I don't know, probably I would say like maybe about 50-ish laps of practice, but nah, I really like this course, so I don't know, it just worked out this week.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers seem like they really like this course for sure. But definitely interested to see where you go from here in this race. We wish you all the best of luck. Who can we shout out after your Stage 1 victory?
Yeah, everyone at Gas and Go, Fanatec, what's it called? I'll just leave it at that, Fanatec for everything. Hopefully I get up there and talk to you guys again soon.
All righty, well, appreciate your time, man, and good luck for the rest of the race. And we'll let you get back to it.
Thanks, guys.
That is Chris Severa, our Stage 1 winner. Been doing a great job out there thus far. Can't wait to actually watch a stage here, Big Al. I mean, hopefully we don't have any more issues that come up, but I do believe with this simpler overlay here, I do believe we should be fine. Unfortunately, we don't have all the bells and whistles that we usually do, which is quite unfortunate, I'd say. Just considering, I mean, how much quality of life that that overlay provides when it comes to just information about the drivers, you know, knowing their some of their I ratings and things like that. And there goes Greg Wyszynski, last minute drop down pit road. Wonder what he's doing, probably trying to get a little bit of extra gas in that tank. What do you think?
Not sure. It's not going to do him any good right now. It's definitely going to be the bank once you get around on that next caution, though.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a very good point. You know, not really going to help you out much right now, unless he has maybe some damage he's trying to get took care of. That's the only thing I can kind of figure why he would be going down pit road. But yeah, you are right. I mean, we could see on that last, that stage 2, the end of stage 2, we could see some guys maybe make some interesting fuel calls just to make sure, doubly sure, that you can make it to the end. Because, you never know here. I mean, we've seen Chris Rivera so far dominating stage 1. You know, he could dominate stage 2. If he runs out of gas, though, could be a completely different story. And could see a different winner. We've seen that before at these road courses. We saw that on Thursday with Matt DeCiani able to make it while others weren't. Pace car lights are out, so we will be getting back green here any time now as we get stage 2 underway. We will be running until, I do believe, lap 16. And then that's when the horses really come out, is that final stage, when everybody's really going to be using all the collective knowledge they have gained so far in the first couple stages to try to apply that to that last stage. Because even though I'm sure a lot of these guys put a lot of practice time in, Big Al, but I mean, nothing substitutes actually time on the racetrack racing with other people on the track.
Yeah, you can't. There is no substitute because if anything happens in practice, you just reset and go on. But when you're racing, if you run off the track, you self-spin. Yeah, there is no reset button. You're going to find yourself. It's just like Clayton Hoffman. He totally dominated that race, along with Lucas Abreu and TJ. I can't remember his last name.
JC Nobrega?
JC Nobrega, yeah, absolutely. I said TJ, but anyway, we know Big Allen names. So,
was it Dan the Rabbit? I remember he told us that's what we should call him. Actually, was able to get a third-place finish in that race after even having some tremendous damage. A lot of guys actually had some huge recoveries in that Thursday race.
So, that first stage was totally different than the second stage in the ladder. So, I think we still got a lot of racing to go here, and it's a tight field. Anything could happen, Brian.
Definitely could. Anything can happen. One thing that kind of was interesting about the Xfinity race I saw today, I know Sargento is a big sponsor that, you see a lot of the billboards on this racetrack that actually some really good marketing. We saw one of the Xfinity cars have one of those signs on the front of their grill and was driving it around the racetrack trying to get that thing off. I almost wanted to go to the store and buy some Sargento cheese.
Well, wait, those folks up in Wisconsin now, they kind of love their cheese. They are known for dairy up there,
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love me some dairy as much as the next guy. I'm a big fan of cheese. I can't have just a burger. I got to have a cheeseburger. You know what I mean?
I absolutely understand what you're saying.
You can't have pizza without cheese. Who eats pizza without cheese? I mean, come on.
So we got the 5 and the 43, both on pit road. Not sure what's going on with that. The lights are off.
Still on the pit road, Greg Wyszynski is.
It looks like Paul Olson's over there also as well.
Yeah, Paul Olson's out of the race car. Well, I do believe Greg Wyszynski's getting ready to go a lap down, so that's going to leave us only 6 drivers.
And then there were 6.
I just don't know what happened to those guys. I mean, looking at Greg Wyszynski's car, there's no damage there. But here comes the green flag. Back out in the air, Chris Rivera up through the gears. Ryan Johnson side by side with Jose Acosta.
Yes, Rivera wasted no time getting this party started.
You see, definitely see that 60 car in 4th place doing a great job right now, trying to put some pressure on Brian Johnson.
Now, those two actually made contact earlier once Johnson was trying to pass the 6-0. So there is probably, I don't know, the 6-0 did ultimately yield a position, but I would say there probably might have been a little bit of chatter on that one.
A little bit of chatter on the radios could be maybe Bedrosian kind of maybe displaying his displeasure, but he's able to get up to third now.
I think it might have been Johnson displaying displeasure because Bedrosian was making it a little bit difficult to get around him, and I think Johnson just got a little bit frustrated. But it was all in racing.
Well, that's one thing I guess you kind of come to expect here at a track like Road America. I mean, there are passing zones for sure. You know, probably a lot more than I'd say other road courses. But still, I mean, you know, road course and short tracks. I mean, those are the tracks that I do believe bring out the worst in people when it comes to tempers.
Ooh, and Bedrosian is going to get off there in the sand. That is definitely going to allow Johnson to close that gap on him. Now, remember, these two are battling for that third place position, and Johnson is right up on him. This was generally coming up into the part of the track where they were actually having their trouble here as they're coming on around the downhill, getting ready to go into that Canada corner, or the carousel, rather.
And Chris Severa now out to 1.8 seconds of a lead over Jose Acosta. Acosta, 1.2, I do believe, in front of Andrew Bedrosian here. Oh, Bedrosian off the racetrack.
Lose there. Yeah, right there coming around that Canada corner. Got him just a little bit, and that's going to be just everything that Brian Johnson needs to pass. And Bedrosian now got into the side of Gary Adamson. Not sure how Adamson's going to feel about that.
Probably not very happy. I don't think Bedrosian is making any friends out here tonight. He's not going to get any Christmas cards from any of these drivers.
Yeah, it's definitely it's going to be tricks for him, not treats, I think.
Unfortunately, I just wonder what the story is there with Greg Wychinski still sitting on pit road now 2 laps down.
And there's Bedrosian again. Looks like he's going to be off there in turn 1. He was having a lot of trouble right there in that turn with practice as well. Looks like that's going to rear its ugly head. I think Pattingale, after the incident in the incidental contact that he had on Thursday, just probably going to give him all the room that he needs. You know, no sense of tearing up that pretty little Ford that he's got going on there.
Oh, yeah, I remember on Thursday, Mr. Pattingale had an unfortunate accident. You know, usually he's so good at avoiding, you know, getting into any trouble with a lot of guys, but he just had no choice on Thursday, unfortunately.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Mr. Pattingale too, because he is the Tucson. He's got that Tucson Sound Art logo on his car, as well as the UXO. The UXO guys, we do know they do a lot of things there. But
for veterans, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely for veterans, and would like to possibly get a conversation with Mr. Pattingale a little bit later on. I know those guys got a music festival coming up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, down in Opp, Alabama. Just wanted to kind of give them a shout out for that there. Maybe we can get some support moving. I know they're trying to sell tickets. So if you know a veteran, first responder, anybody like that that will be interested, check out the UXO Ultimate Experience Outdoors. You can find those guys on social media. A lot of information about their cause on that social media page.
We see Brian Johnson trying to chase down Jose Acosta. The gap between these guys, not very much, just within a second.
Yeah, I think once Johnson got past Bedrosian, now he is definitely, because Johnson was fast on Thursday as well, so he is definitely no stranger to this track, and he was putting out some good lap time. So I think Jose is going to have him in his rearview mirror, and that might be a little bit different earlier because he was being chased by Bedrosian. But I think with Johnson back there, he might be able to solidify that and make it a pretty good battle for second place, Brian.
Yeah, it looks like Jose Acosta is really good in certain other parts of the track. I mean, he got a lot of time on Brian Johnson there in that straightaway. So, and that's one thing you kind of notice about road courses. It's kind of like an unwritten rule. You know, there's going to be some guys that are going to be faster in certain parts of the track than others. I mean, you know, a lot more, I'd say, on these road courses than you see, particularly on an oval.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And looks like Kenny Powell has joined the fray. He's going to be coming in some 10 laps down, but if he continues to run everything, he might even find himself all the way up to 7th place, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good that he's actually able to turn some laps out here. That's definitely good for his points. I know he's going to need all the points he can get here. And, a lot of the guys that didn't show up here tonight, that's going to be, even though he was late, whatever personal issue he had going on, still going to be able to get some points out here. Definitely glad. Hats off to him because, a lot of times you come into a race 10 laps down, I wouldn't want to race.
I don't like to race when I go 2 laps down. But Brian Johnson definitely, him and Jose Acosta, these two are definitely, this is going to be the battle that I think that we're going to be watching for the foreseeable future. Jose is doing everything correct. These guys, they're real close in their lap times. Brian is just, his best lap is some half of a second faster, but, that's probably got to do with circumstances. So he is going to be trying to reel Jose Acosta in. And Jose was pretty rock solid earlier in the first stage with the little pressure that he was getting. I think he might be the same way this time. We'll just have to see what happens. Because they're getting a little bit hard on the brakes there, and that's going to probably give Johnson the run that he needs, as he is now going to be coming up the inside as they go down that last straightaway, and I think that might do it. Now, Jose Acosta's best chance is going to be to try to tuck in and get that draft and maybe try to short turn them and get on the inside of them as they go into turn 1. Johnson into one real hard there. He is sideways. Here comes Acosta, just like I said. Now he's going to set him up and try to get him as they go into 2. He's going to move to the inside.
Yeah, big battle right now going on for second.
Jose is on that rumble strip, so you can get right back in that accelerator as they come on down.
As they enter the Sargento corner here. But, I think Jose is really benefiting from the fact that, when he was in front of Brian Johnson, he wasn't able to really judge himself on anybody. Now he's able to kind of see what he was doing wrong and see what Brian Johnson was successful at and try to replicate that. Oh, he hits the curb.
I was going to say that curve right there was probably going to be the biggest challenge for them both going in there and see in off their track. Because once you get into the downs right there, you got to the kettle bottoms. You have got to start preparing yourself for that next turn. And Jose, he just got a little bit rattled, got out of it. But now Johnson's going to drive right by him, and that's got to be feeling good for G&G as they now solidify that first and second position.
Yeah, definitely got to feel good for both of those drivers. That's for sure. And, you can just see how costly a mistake like that truly is, as Jose Acosta now 6.3 seconds back from Brian Johnson. We heard, I think that echoed on Thursday. Guys were saying, other road courses, you can make a mistake, you might not lose as much time, but Road America is a track where you have such long straightaways. So if you make a mistake, you lose a tremendous amount of time.
Yeah, and that's the key. You just want to be as clean as possible, man. Consistent and clean. That's the key to everything, right?
And also the track temp has been steadily climbing, now up to 114 Fahrenheit. So definitely that could also be kind of making it a little bit slicker on these guys.
I don't know. I think when these tires get warm, I think they kind of get stickier, in my opinion. So I love the new tire model with these cars. And it's even kind of fun on this track because you probably are allowed to get a little bit more. You have a lot more leeway on this road course than you do on an oval. You could go into turns all kind of different directions. That's the reason why you see such disparities in the time of these drivers as they continue to run around this track. And just like that, I think we're on lap 14. That means that pits will be closed once the last guy comes around here.
And Paul Olson actually also making his way back onto the racetrack. You can see that he clearly does have some front-end damage on that machine, so no wonder that he had to take some repairs. Probably 8 minutes required, if I'm not mistaken. Just to look at that front-end damage. Looks a lot like what we kind of saw on Thursday. Definitely going to be closing the pits. I'm sure Jose Acosta going to be waiting for that caution to kind of give him a chance to kind of reshuffle the deck, if you will. Wouldn't you say, Big Al?
Yeah, and this is that time period where drivers are going to be risking it for the biscuit because, you're going to make your biggest leaps and gains on pit road. So a lot of drivers are going to be elected just to take tires. Gas. Some going to take tires. Some going to be coming in later trying to get as much gas into that car in as late as possible, just to ensure that they're going to have enough to go. I talked to Chris Vera earlier this week, and I think he already knows that he's gonna go the distance on fuel. That's not even a consideration for him. So I don't think it's going to be for most of these other drivers. As that 6-0 now of Andrew Bedrosian is slowly coming into the frame, chasing Jose Acosta. These two probably closest battle that we do have on the racetrack right now at this time.
Yeah, but Bedrosian's having some major blinking issues right now too. Unfortunate, but he has been slowly but steadily, catching up here to Jose Acosta. Acosta's going to see that. He's going to probably be praying that Andrew does not catch up to him. And you can just see, just through that last corner there, looking at the 60s rotors on those, that brake pads, they are fire hot when they're going through these corners, Big Al.
It's some big tires, man. It takes a whole lot to stop these cars. But man, this has definitely been an exciting race. Ladies and gentlemen, I just apologize about our technical difficulties there in the first stage of the racing. But hey, look, we just were able to rebound and come back and give you some of the best 7-car racing that you've seen all season here on the Tucson Sound Art iRacing Stock Car Association Saturday night broadcast.
Yeah, we definitely do apologize for the inconvenience and a little bit different look that we have here going on tonight. Unfortunately, we just had some issues with our overlay just not cooperating with us and causing all sorts of headaches. But guess what? The show must go on, and the show is going on right now as Chris Severa is going to be taking the white flag here in just a moment. Of course, the white flag for Stage 2. We missed quite a bit of Stage 1, but we are going to bring you every bit of the action here for Stage 2 and the remainder of the race.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew Bedrosian is slowly closing in on Jose Acosta. Acosta's having a hard time with these turns here, and I don't know if it's just the anticipation or if it's just the unsettling feeling that he's getting because he can see Bedrosian slowly closing in on him.
And a lot of what it could be, too, is when you lock those tires up, I mean, it's hard to get the temperature back out of that tire once you've done that. So, one thing, used to be a pro I kind of would talk to sometimes about it. He had a really, nice way to saying it. He kind of, once you got temperature in the tire, it is almost impossible to get it out without slowing down tremendously. And I think that's what Jose's, he might even be dwelling on his mistakes right now and seeing these particularly tough parts of the racetrack and kind of dwelling on, and kind of following right back into those same traps.
Yeah, big thing though is you have to set your turns up. And if you get off on one turn, it's definitely gonna throw you off for the next turn, and so on and so forth. So these guys, even though we're coming around to the last of this, they still have to be perfect in order to maintain that position. And you might say, well, Jose's still in third, but yeah, you don't want to just arbitrarily give away positions. I mean, we are still racing here, and these are still for points, and it's for bragging rights as well, Brian.
Definitely is. I mean, bragging rights to say that, hey, I came, a lot of guys were, maybe a little too intimidated by, riding on the road courses here on this Saturday night. But I showed up, and I actually, did well. Definitely going to be a good points day for a lot of these guys. Like you said, the bragging rights going to be definitely, caution is out.
Was that early?
I do believe it was. This, because that caution came out early, is going to make it really difficult to make it to the end of this race on fuel. That's going to be, that's going to change a lot of things. But of course, Chris Severa is going to be your Stage 2 winner, able to sweep the stages here. Ryan Johnson finishing in second place, Jose Acosta in third, Andrew Bedrosian in fourth place, Gary Adamson fifth, Robert Pattengale in sixth place, Paul Olson back on the racetrack as we mentioned before, he's in seventh. Greg Wachinski, he's sitting in eighth place, and Kenny Powell, of course, has made his way onto the racetrack here, is sitting in ninth.
Yep, looks like he's just going to be a couple laps out of eighth. With that, let's go ahead and take a quick break and get a word from our sponsors.
Ow. Ew. Ow. Ew.
Want relief from tough pain without the tough taste? Try Goody's Cool Orange. Goody's fast, Goody's delicious, because pain relief shouldn't be a pain to take. Goody's flavors, taking the pain out of pain relief.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And I know you mentioned earlier about maybe talking to Robert Pattingale about that that thing that you were kind of discussing about. I think it was EXO. What was it again? I'm sorry. Why don't we give him a chance to talk about it for our audience out there? What do you think, Big Al? I do believe we have actually lost Big Al, so do apologize. We are all thumbs here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll go ahead and grab Mr. Robert Pattingale. Maybe Big Al's back now. We could maybe grab Mr. Pattingale. Let him talk about that concert and the things that you were kind of discussing earlier.
Yeah, I don't think those guys go and talk to me right now. We'll have to probably wait on that until a little bit later.
Even Mr. Pattingale don't want to talk.
Well, I think right now everybody's just rediscussing the pit strategy, the fact that it's going to be changed, and that's a big deal right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's a major mess up there from NASCAR. The officials. But everything will be fine. I think that's going to make it even more interesting, though, Big Al. I mean, because just considering, who will still try to stretch it out. I mean, some guys will still maybe try to stretch it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think though that the officials should never actually affect the outcome of the race. We talked about that last year with the Indy Road Course. Where I think when the track wrecked a couple people's cars, and I kind of felt strongly about that, because if there's something on the track that drivers run over and then it destroys their car, I don't think it's their fault. So it's just like this when arbitrary caution comes out and early. But wow, yeah, I think it is going to make it a little bit more interesting for us.
Yeah, it definitely will. I mean, we were kind of unsure on Thursday if they can make it, but I mean, of course, it turned out that Matt DeCiani, could make it. Now, I think we're even more unsure. I kind of thought coming into this race tonight we were a little bit more sure of it. We know, we've seen that they can make it, but now that they have one, extra lap in the, during the race here, this is going to be quite a show here. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, could some guys still stretch it out? I mean, could we see a lot of saving? I think,
yeah, and that's the thing too that Matt DeCiani said on Thursday. He said he did not save. He didn't try to save it at all. So. Some of these guys are going to try to stretch it, and it is possible because they're not racing. There's only a couple places on the racetrack where guys are actually truly battling really hard. So,
and it looks like everyone's going to be making that trip down pit road here, get that full tank of gas. I know that nobody's going to be slouching. That gas man's going to be probably the most important man. That's for sure.
Fill it up, Ron.
Yeah, I mean, if I was these guys, I'd maybe have a water bottle full of some gas I can maybe dump in there. A little bit of kind of somewhat racing on pit road or yellow here. You see Bedrosian kind of trying to maybe make a pass here on Jose Acosta in the pits, but not able to get there. And this is, look at that. Two different drivers missed their box. Jose Acosta and Bedrosian both had to back it up. Chris Severa only taking fuel there, 8.5 seconds in the box. Some of those guys taking tires. I do believe Jose Acosta took 4 tires. Bedrosian took 4 tires. Robert Pattengale, I do believe everybody out there took 4 tires except for Chris Severa. Brian Johnson taking quite a long time coming off of pit road here. He actually spent, I do believe, 32 seconds there. I'm curious if he was maybe trying to get some damage fixed, maybe making some adjustments possibly.
Well, I know he had made contact a couple of times earlier in the race, so
Probably with Bedrosian, yeah.
Yeah, probably trying to get that contact, just get the damage taken care of. I mean, you got plenty of time on a road course.
Yeah, that is true. As Severa does catch up to the pace car here. Definitely excited to see the final stage begin here, as we are right now going to be starting back, I do believe, on lap 16. So I do believe we'll have probably 15 laps to go in this race once we go back green. Of course, as we mentioned before, caution laps do not count. So these caution laps right now, these guys are turning, do not count to the overview of how many laps we're going to do here tonight, 31. So I think if we did count the caution laps, we'd probably be doing more like 40 or 45. Tell you what, though, a Johnsonville sausage sounds pretty dang good right now, especially with 4th of July, right up on the horizon. Definitely want to give it one big, shout out to everybody out there watching. Happy 4th of July weekend. Be responsible with those fireworks right there.
Let freedom ring.
I'll tell you what, 4th of July is definitely a little bit of a scary time. A lot of times in my here in South Carolina, you hear, guys, shooting off guns sometimes, a lot of times. But, I mean, on 4th of July, you don't know whether, which one it is. Is it a firework or is it a gunshot? The track temperature has been just fluctuating nonstop since this race has begun. I mean, we've gone from, 110 to 113 to now 116, 118 it just was a moment ago. So definitely has been going up and down. Pace car lights are still on. Should be going off this time by. Interesting decision here, and it makes a lot of sense. Everyone, pretty much, every single person except Gary Adamson actually stays out there. Kind of an interesting call for him. Going to be definitely a gamble for track position, but then again, I think these guys that are going down pit road are making the smart call, trying to get as much gas in that tank as they possibly can.
When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And if that don't work, well, pit for a couple more gallons of petrol.
And it does look like everyone only taking fuel on that stop. We do see Rosian, I do believe, had a little bit of an extended stop, 13.7 seconds. Paul Olson also had a very extended stop. 3 minutes he was down on pit road. I do believe trying to fix some of that optional that he had. Of course, he got the required repairs taken care of, but, definitely want to try to get that optional taken care of, too, to get that car handling a little bit better.
Yeah, meatball flags being shown for Kenny Powell and Greg Wachinski.
What happened to Kenny Powell?
He's already beat up there. He's already beat up there. You have to
Oh,
go
yeah,
back
look at
further
that.
than
His tire is still disconnected there. Oh,
You're going to have to go back further. At some point, he made a bad decision.
I think he's fine right here. Don't see any damage. Something definitely went wrong when he was trying to catch back up to the field. That just goes to show you, even under caution, these road courses are still quite deadly. I'm just wondering what went wrong. Still looks good right here. Oh, that's where it happened. Oh, yeah, that's exactly why that right front no longer connected.
And you know, sometimes it is harder to drive around this track not at speed or pace, because when you're out on the racetrack, I mean, you know exactly how much gas, you know when to brake. Well, that all changes when you're not up to speed. You know what I mean? You just go through there and you just think, oh, I'm just going to run through here real quick, and all of a sudden, you know, you're still going at a faster speed than normal. So yeah, bad things happen, and just like that, that 24 not having a good night at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think he even has more contact even after this. I mean, surprised that he was even trying to limp it to pit road after that.
Well, that tow is so long, though, Brian, that I totally understand, because you know it's almost like you're in a whole nother relationship waiting on that tow truck.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. There's no way that car is going to be able to turn. And look at that tire just barely hanging on. Definitely not providing any grip, that's for sure. But I do believe he was able to somehow limp it home to pit road, as you can see. A lot of sparks coming off of that machine.
And that 36 of Gary Adamson now going down pit road with the pace car. That's going to be an interesting pit strategy. As green flag racing continues.
Yeah, the green flag just came out, and Gary Adamson went down as soon as maybe he had a black flag.
No, he shouldn't have had a black flag. I think he is going to try to get that last little bit of go-go juice.
That's a very interesting decision for him.
He's doing something different, I think, than what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, because I think that would mean that he would not have to make another stop. That could be the gamble that he's kind of trying to take right now. We just saw Brian Johnson make the pass there on Robert Pattengale. Now Pattengale being pressured by Bedrosian.
And he is going to yield to the 6-0.
Yeah, that Chevrolet 60 has been really quick all day long.
Yeah, I think Pattengale just doesn't want to tear up that Tucson Sound Art UX04 to his. Jose Acosta is really burning the tires off of this thing. He is trying to keep up with Chris Severa. I think he knows that his best shot of having any chance of this thing is not to let Severa get away from him. And Brian Johnson got him dialed in as well, as he is going to be right up on his backside.
Yeah, surprised these guys are putting it out so hard right now. I think Chris Severa, maybe Chris is kind of taking a little bit easier to try to save that fuel, you know, letting those guys kind of catch up to him.
Well, I think he does have to take it easy. He doesn't want to push it, you know, especially if he is trying to conserve it. And Chris Severa is the conservation master. We've seen him stretch a tank of gas further than anybody. So if he just takes it easy, keeps Acosta there behind him, just kind of stays with these guys, I think that's exactly what we're seeing. I think we're seeing him conserve.
Yeah, I think so, especially him being up there, you know, in the lead right now. He's the one that's actually having to cut through the air. So no wonder he would be trying to save a little bit here, because, of course, his fuel economy not going to be as good as the guys that are able to follow in his draft as they complete the first lap in Stage 3. Right now we have 6 drivers on the lead lap. Paul Olson, the 4 laps down right now. The only other driver that is actually still out there racing, of course, we just saw Greg Wachinski had a meatball flag, and Kenny Powell. Well, unfortunate for those drivers, they are not going to be able to, make anything really happen here. One good thing about it, though, is all the drivers that did not show up here tonight for Road America are going to be, they're still going to get points over them,
Absolutely. As we are now 14 to go.
And, of course, our fuel window is 14 laps, so saving is going to be probably a must. And usually in the A Open, you would see these guys have a little bit longer of a fuel run. But with the ISCA, we kind of do things a little bit different. 75% fuel tank. Which, I mean, I'm surprised a lot of the drivers we kind of talk to week in and week out with that 75% fuel tank. You would think that would actually change the handling of the car quite a bit. But a lot of guys say that it really doesn't. No, Chris Severa off the track quite a bit. Jose Acosta follows him right there with him.
And I think that's the key of it. Jose Acosta was so intently monitoring the line of Chris Severa that he, too, just ran right off the track with him. Severa there definitely missing his braking points, but he is back on the accelerator. They're going to keep it going.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, this is that time you don't make any mistakes. So if Severa makes a mistake here, this could cost him the win.
Well, you remember, this is about the time where Clayton Hoffman started to actually have his woes. We had a lot of interesting mishaps there on that Thursday night event.
That we did. Severa going to be able to hold on here. Now has about 0.7 of a second of a lead right now.
And if you notice, Severa's lap times are about 3 seconds to the fat of what he had been running. So I think that is him definitely conserving fuel.
Yeah, I mean, and we know tires don't matter as much as, they used to, I do believe, on a lot of these road courses. But, you got to keep in mind he didn't take tires on both of the stops that he has made here so far tonight. So could that even be playing a role? I mean, we talked about it earlier, when we were watching Jose Acosta kind of making a lot of mistakes. It's so hard, even with the tires not mattering as much. Even so, you get enough temperature in that tire, I think it will matter. Well, you see Bedrosian starting to put some pressure here on Brian Johnson. Of course, we've seen these guys have a little bit of history during this race, that's for sure. It's Jose Acosta right up to the back end of Chris Severa. Oh, and look at that. Bedrosian having some problems there going through the grass. So fighting for the lead as Jose Acosta tries to figure out a way to get around Chris Severa. Severa's probably just trying to maintain a gap right now. He's not trying to work it hard. He's just trying to maintain a gap. He's like, you can stay right there on me, Jose. I'm just going to be just fast enough to make it so you can't pass me.
But, I mean, it's the equivalent of the pilot said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain speaking. I've turned off the fasten seatbelt signs because we're at the cruising altitude, and I think that's just where Chris Severa is at. He's just going to keep driving the course right here, taking it easy, having a good time. I mean, because you have to have fun at this. If you're not having fun, then you're probably doing the wrong thing.
And we talk about it all the time about these road courses, too. A lot of the drivers I think we've seen so far tonight have been letting it hang out a little bit more when it comes to, a lot of times at road courses you see it to where slow is fast in a lot of ways. It's not really, but I mean, if it looks slow, that probably means it is quick. Smoothness. You don't want to be drifting it. Watch the Fast and the Furious movies and stuff like that. Those are not indicative of what actual speed is.
But another thing, and I've seen Severa do it too. But if you're confident enough in the car and you can drift it to the corners, I mean, that just, to me, I mean, that just adds effect. But yeah, I totally get it. But there's nothing more exciting than seeing a driver that's in one with his machine.
100%. I think Chris Severa definitely one that knows that car inside and out. That's for sure. I kind of talked about it before. Love to see Chris Severa actually be able to maybe have some type of schedule change or something where he would be able to run on Thursday and see him compete against those guys. 'Cause I think he'd give them a run for their money. I mean, looking at the lap times, he's, his fastest lap here so far tonight. I mean, oh, there goes Jose Acosta on the inside trying to get there, but Chris Severa going to be able to get the run on the exit.
Let's see what happened to the forward Brian Johnson as he has dropped all the way back from third place and is now finding himself all the way back into sixth. So I'm not sure what actually occurred on that. Oh,
he was taking a pit stop.
Very interesting call by that forward Brian Johnson. So I think a lot of these guys have decided that they're not going to make it on fuel, so they're electing to go on down and kind of get topped off and then race it back. Now that Jose Acosta got so close to Chris Severa, I think Severa is not just going to try to make a point. And he gets a little wide, a lot wide.
That is not good.
That is not good coming through the Canada corner there, and that's going to allow Jose Acosta to actually take the lead. Now, he is going to actually it'll be his first time in front tonight, provided that he makes it through 14 and Chris Severa doesn't mount a charge coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, I think Mr. Acosta, has 2 wins, I do believe, in his ISCA career. Could he make it a third here tonight? That would be definitely something to witness, that 42 John Deere machine. But I don't think Severa's going to let him get away as he is right there back onto the rear end there. Severa might even be willing to sit there, too, because, I mean, I kind of mentioned it earlier about, that lead car cutting through the air. Severa's going to be catching a nice slipstream here, maybe to save some fuel.
Yeah, but I still don't think he intentionally relinquished the lead, though. I'm not going to go that far. But
no, definitely not.
Just like that, Mr. Pattengale, Robert, one each, finds himself up into that third place position.
Yeah, Bedrosian actually taking a trip down pit road this time by. He's actually taking tires. Now, I don't know about that. Maybe he just forgot to click them off, but that's going to make it a long stop for him.
Oh, he took 4, so 4 is usually not indicative of forgetting to uncheck them, because usually when they lift up that right side, you can jump in there real quick and stop it. Maybe he burned them up. Maybe he was just a little bit loose out there, Brian.
Definitely sacrificing a lot of time, though, doing that. So that is not going to be a very successful call, I do believe. I think the one that we really need to keep the most eye on probably is Brian Johnson. I think, he made a call to pit there, only took gas. He's going to probably have enough to make it here. Gary Adamson, also, we saw him pit right before the green flag came out, and he should have enough gas. Maybe it's going to be close for him. But it's going to be close for everybody out here, except for, I think, Brian Johnson. He's the one that's safe. So if the top 3 run out of gas, Brian Johnson could effectively be your winner. I'm definitely on the edge of my seat to see how this kind of progresses, as I do believe we are verging on now 10 laps to go. And the Goodies 125, we definitely appreciate everybody out there tuning in. Big shout out to Tucson Sound Art for being our series sponsor here.
Chris Severa now on the inside of Jose Acosta. This battle will rage right down into turn 1, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be who gets the better braking and the better runoff of 1 going into 2. Severa backing up his braking point so he can increase his acceleration zone.
Yeah, of course, this is a track where you definitely, any road course, I'd say, you always want to get exit. That's the main thing. I mean, every book I've read, yeah, I know, ladies and gentlemen, I can read, but every book I've read on, when it comes to road course racing and how to be successful at it, it's all about exit.
Severa's definitely probably going to set him up for a pass right here as they come into the downs. As they start to come down this turn right here, you'll see this is one of the most difficult braking spots. See how wide Severa goes, and now he's going to try to get a run on the inside, but Jose Acosta's feeling that, not going to let it happen. Now, here's another tricky turn where Severa's probably going to try to set it up.
And a lot of parts of this track do have a little bit of runoff to where you're able to kind of wide arc it a little bit so you can, almost straighten the corner out. That's what Severa's essentially doing. But some of the parts you don't have that option at all because there's just grass on either side. I mean, at Sonoma, I think there is a little bit more runoff at Sonoma than this track is or has.
Well, yeah, here there's runoff, but it's just grass and sand, and you really don't want any parts of either one of those because I found out the hard way that grass has zero grip, and
That it does.
sand has less than that. So
I think with sand, you have the even the potential of getting stuck in the sand. Waiting on iRacing to implement that. Wouldn't that be something, getting stuck in the sand? I've seen so many times in motorsports where cars have gotten stuck in sand. Because like you said, it does not provide a lot of grip. And these cars, very low to the ground. And, you know, the bottom of these race cars, essentially, you know, pretty flat underneath them. So when you get, you almost get beached, you know. Jose Acosta right now out in front, able to fight off Chris Severa. Their lap times are not very good right now, and I think that still is pretty much proof that these guys are saving. But I think they're aggressively saving, considering they're still racing one another. You know what I mean?
yeah, Chris Barrett is not running 2.15-second laps if he's not saving.
Yeah, definitely not. But still, I think they're still racing somewhat, which is kind of interesting to see. You know, what is that? You know, I'm surprised they're not running faster because they're kind of like racing each other still. You know, usually when you're racing against another driver, you kind of push each other to be faster. But you know, I am really admiring the willpower that these guys are showing right now. And one good thing about Brian Johnson already kind of taking his pit stop, he can run as fast as he wants. You know, he has no limits right now. He knows he can make it to the end of this thing. He can run as quick as he likes. So those guys saving as much, I mean, this is going to give him a chance to maybe catch up. I mean, we see he's already starting to run down Gary Adamson, who's sitting in 4th place.
Yeah, but you and I have said this 100 times. Catching somebody's one thing. Passing them, well, that's a whole different book. Chapter and verse.
That's definitely a whole different can of worms. I mean, especially at a road course, I think that is very much the case here. When you catch up to someone on a road course, it is going to be very difficult to pass and pass cleanly without having actual contact. I mean, you can see this racetrack. I mean, yeah, it's wide enough for 2 cars to fit, but a lot of parts of this track, I mean, you want to be able to run almost the whole course so that we can get that, you know, the best line. And, you know, you can't do that if you're side by side. Here comes Chris Severa, though, going to try to get on the inside here into turn 1. Got a good run of speed.
He's moving away to prevent that side draft. She just wants sheer speed. That's Ford versus Chevy down that front stretch. It looks like Ford's going to win again.
What a pass there from Chris Severa. And their lap times have slowed down even further. 2:16 and 2:17 from Chris Severa and Jose Acosta, respectively. So definitely slowing down quite a bit. Surprised to see that. I mean, I didn't think they would slow down that much. Also got to keep in mind, just in, Andrew Bedrosian out of the race car.
Yeah,
I wonder what happened with him.
Kenny Powell's back on the racetrack.
With the amount of damage that Kenny Powell had, I'm surprised that car's running. It looks pretty fixed up, though. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. Apparently, his crew did a great job fixing that machine up. You know, he might even have a chance if maybe to get up there and pass Paul. I don't know. Not a lot of laps left here, as I do believe we have 7 to go. Of course, these guys are now 7 laps, I do believe, or soon to be 7 to go. These guys have 7 laps on their equipment right now. So tank's probably getting around half empty, but I don't know.
That means half full.
Chris Severa leaving Jose Acosta. I don't know what happened here with Acosta, but he has fallen off the pace quite a bit.
I think Acosta's still saving, and Severia's just going on back to race mode.
And maybe Severa thinks he's saved enough.
I mean, if you've got the tools, you know, on hand, you will know if you're good to go or not now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know, you know, a lot of these guys have their own telemetry that kind of tell them how much gas they have left. You know, and a lot of them are very accurate. You mentioned it, Chris Severa, right back to race mode. I think you hit the nail right on the head. Last time by 2 minutes 11 seconds. That was quite a quick lap.
Brian Johnson has just bested Gary Adamson, and he has moved up to 4th place. And he will now be attempting to close distance on one each Robert Pattengale for that 3rd place position.
Yeah, it looks like he's definitely going to be able to do so, but still quite a distance between those two drivers, about 5.5 seconds right now between Pattengale and Brian Johnson. We definitely appreciate everybody out there that is tuning in, and once again want to wish everybody a happy July 4th weekend. Hopefully, definitely cook up some brats for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Throw another shrimp on the Barbie.
Oh.
Or in this case, I guess in America, we'd say throw Barbie another shrimp.
Definitely interesting here is Jose Acosta still in save mode. He now has 6 seconds in between him and Chris Severa. And I think Robert Pattengale's normal pace here is probably acting as a saving for him because, I mean, he's just definitely not the best road course driver, but he always stays available. And, you know, that's what we kind of always, you know, our hats off to him. He's been improving, you know, so much, that's for sure, and we'd love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's take a lap here and see what Chris Severa looks like whenever he's at his best. Like you said, he's in race mode now. Let's see what a race lap looks like. What do you think, Big Al?
Yeah, let's ride along.
I think one thing we see a lot of, you know, with drivers at a track like this, you know, you see guys maybe shift too soon or something like that. That can cause you to you know, lose control of that vehicle. Chris Severa definitely has it down pat, though, as he shifts through the gears. And you could hear it when these guys are, you know, going over some of these bumps and some of the curbs, Big Al. I mean, it reverberates through the chassis, or the cockpit, I would say, for these drivers.
Yeah, especially if you got that butt kicker installed. If you got the butt kicker in there, and I mean, wow, it is such an intense experience. So definitely want to just throw out a shout out to butt kicker, man.
Oh, look at that. Glad we were in the cockpit camera for that. I mean, he had to almost dirt track it to get off. Oh, and he's gonna almost lose it. What a save.
Fast as loose.
Goodness gracious, how did he keep that thing underneath him there? I mean, you saw that literally was like one of the best saves I think I've ever seen. I mean, just was able to wrangle that machine, quick movements. I mean, man, this guy has got some really good, definitely has some really good muscle memory, or, you know, maybe just twitch movements. Like, he's just able to control that car so fast.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. It's when you got a driver that can feel that machine and he's kind of tuned in with it, it's totally different because you know, with 5 to go, he can just totally feel it. Also, Brian Johnson is past Robert Pattingale. That's going to move him up into that 3rd place position.
And he was able to quickly catch up there. Last time we looked back here, they were actually a little over 5 seconds in between those two. Now Johnson has made that pass stick, and now he's going to be trying to make his way up there to Jose Acosta. Of course, he's got 21 seconds to get up there, but looking at his lap times, it might be possible. I don't know.
Jose has definitely switched to eco mode.
Yeah, he's got that John Deere on the turtle mode.
Right. So we got Paula Olsen now getting ready, going to be re-entering the race surface. He's going to be trying to keep Kenny Powell at bay and trying to actually, he has a chance to best Andrew Bedrosian and get up into that 6th place position just by turning a couple more laps.
I don't know if he barely might have enough to get in front of Bedrosian here. I mean, Bedrosian right now is 5 laps down. Of course, Paul Olsen is 11 laps down. Kenny Powell does have a chance.
15.
If Paul Olsen was not back on this track, Kenny Powell would have had a chance to get that position from him because he's only 3 laps behind Paul Olsen.
So that's why Paul Olsen's back on the racetrack.
Makes sense. Try to protect as many points as you can get.
Heck, if they're giving them away, why not, right?
100%. Oh, man.
Severa's really
hanging it out.
He is burning it down, I think would be the word to say. Definitely not in save mode unless he is planning on stopping here sometime in the next lap or two. He's trying to get out enough lead where he could actually run down and grab a splash, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think he is all the way into this thing. He is committed, and he's going to run it on down there, Brian.
No, I think you're right. Severa, if he knows he can make it right now, that will be the only thing that I could figure here. I mean, he's known, as you mentioned, to be very good at saving. I think that he definitely has a feeling. Oh, wow, look at the last lap he just turned. Even though he was letting it all hang out, he hit a 2-minute 09.940. Those are lap times we saw on Thursday.
That's his fastest lap of the race. That's the fastest lap of the race by far. Nobody is even anywhere near that. That's almost 3 seconds faster than the second fastest lap, which is going to be held by Brian Johnson at a 2:12.279. So,
wow, that was that was right on par with what we saw on Thursday. Oh man, he is just letting it all hang out. I'm surprised. I think he's just having fun right now.
I mean, that's what I said, right? You got to have fun. If you can't have fun, I mean, risk it for the biscuit's one thing, but he's driving for dough, man. This is the dough. This is what dough's about. That's what I say when I'm talking about biscuits.
Well, he's putting a lot of love into that in that pan of biscuits. I'd say, he's going to make the best biscuits he possibly can, and he's trying to put on a show for us. I think that's exactly what he's doing.
Absolutely, and he's not only that, he's putting on a clinic too. So, hey, look, we all have to get better at something, right? That's the whole goal, because you want to be better. That's the best part of life, is the betterment of yourself and the things around you. So, Chris Severa definitely is inspiring a lot of people to see just how fast they could drive in this sim. Gary Adamson now pulling up onto the back of Robert Pattingale. This is going to be the battle for 4th place.
Yeah, Adamson, of course, pitted under right when the green flag dropped there at the conclusion of stage 2. So now here we go. Oh, Adamson getting really loose. Actually, he's able to still hold the momentum, get that pass completed without any issues. And Brian Johnson has really started to close in on Jose Acosta. Only 13.8 seconds separate these guys. Of course, Brian Johnson is 5 seconds faster than Jose.
Jose is really just taking it easy.
Yeah, I think Jose is probably going to be happy to grab second here, but I don't know if Brian Johnson has his way. I think he might, have a problem here holding on to second, just considering how quick Johnson has been reeling him in. that Southern Pipe machine has been looking really strong here. And as you mentioned before, he looked really strong on Thursday. I do believe, he's one of the ones that probably benefited a lot from Thursday to, give him a little bit of somewhat of an advantage on a lot of these drivers, just considering, he did have a lot of, track time. And when it comes to a track like Road America, you can't beat track time.
Absolutely not.
And I do believe we're verging on now 2 laps to go. As that Fanatec machine still steadily pulling away from Jose Acosta. Brian Johnson now 11 seconds back from Jose Acosta. So, man, he is really just reeling him in.
With 3 to go, I think we've seen definitely an awesome contest. And I think we both saw the point in time where Chris Severa I kind of think he took the gloves off, so to speak, and said, okay, I'm done playing. It's kind of like when you see a cat, and Severa, he's just hanging it out there. I mean, I don't think he really cares, right? But when he took the gloves off, I mean, he took them off, and he said, hey, look, I'm going to run this thing. I got enough gas. I'm going to just drive the wheels off of it. Man, that's what he's doing. I think it's just awesome to watch.
Man, he is, man, he just keeps Tokyo drifting it out there. It has been something to watch for sure, but I mean, doing that really does heat up your tires quite a bit. But it doesn't seem like it's bothering him too much. And, he talked about having problems with that car turning for him earlier.
Okay, yeah. I think he's got the rotation factor figured out.
I think he's got it all figured out here. Probably made some adjustments to that machine. Seems like it's definitely working out for him.
With 2 to go here, I think he's figured out his woes and your woes and a couple other foes.
Brian Johnson probably suffering a little bit from the carrot on a stick mentality. He's looking at that relative decreasing, getting ever closer to Jose Acosta. That could provoke him to make a mistake. Hopefully that does not happen. This has just been so much fun to watching this Fanatec 62, just letting it all hang out. We are definitely getting quite a show. Glad to see, even though like we talked about, smoothness is probably going to be, it is the key to being successful at this track. But I think that Severa's showing that, hey, I could do it my own way. Definitely have to keep an eye here on Brian Johnson, though, as he is still approaching Jose Acosta. But he's running out of time. White flag soon to be out in the air.
Well, he's going to get it. He's got to get it now because it's about time for the getting to be gone.
That is for sure, as I do believe Chris Severa, just a couple more corners, and he will be crossing the start-finish line to start our last lap.
Now, this is not the lap where Chris wants to just try to best his time, you know what I mean? Because he has been totally letting it all hang out.
Knowing him, though, he's still going to continue to do that. I don't think he's going to stop.
Yeah, with almost a 36-second lead over the second-place car, I don't think he's got to worry about too much.
Yeah, I think he could even lose it and probably still be good to go.
Hey, what a show these guys put on, man. And like you said earlier, thank everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you guys for joining the broadcast. We know that you guys got other things that you could be doing, but really appreciate you spending your time with us here tonight as we are almost ready to wrap up our broadcast here and get ready to go into the post-race. As Chris Severa has about 7 turns or so left with a couple of alphas before he actually becomes our winner here. If he can actually navigate that 62 Fanatec Ford through these last couple of obstacles, I guess, I think he's going to put this one in the books for us. And also, go ahead, Brian.
I was just saying, I think Jose Acosta is barely going to hang on to second here. I mean, I just don't think Johnson has enough time. Gary Adamson did a great job here. Kind of was questioning his, strategy, but it still seems like it's going to give him a nice 4th place finish here. Of course, he's going to probably be wanting to get as many points as he can. As we
See,
see.
that's
Go ahead.
no, that's the thing. Everybody has to race their own race because we don't know their strategy. You know what I mean? And people have different points of interest as well as entries and exits. So, you know, kudos to all of the pit strategies that were ran here tonight.
Yeah, you don't know unless you try. I mean, that's the one thing about it. I mean, a lot of times, you know, I think we've seen that so many times in the ISCA, both the Thursday and Saturday. You know, interesting strategies, you know, off the wall, thinking outside of the box can sometimes really, really, really pay off. Oh, man, and there he goes. Chris Severa loses it. He has so much of a gap that it does not matter. As he is going to cross the start-finish line as the winner here. And the Goodies 125.
They still have plenty of fuel left to do an epic burnout. Looks like Jose Acosta is going to be trying to battle off Brian Johnson. He has, looks like they are coming up, having just about 3 more turns as they're coming through the Canada turn, or the Canada corner.
Yeah, Brian Johnson, he is right there on him. I don't know. This is going to be close.
It's going to be 14. If he can drive into 14 and get a runoff, this is going to be the key right here, and he is going to be trying to do everything he can. And
no.
And that might just cost him 3rd place.
Could very well. I don't know. I think he still has enough time. Pattengale's 30 seconds back.
Okay.
But, man, he definitely risked it for the biscuit right there to try to get up to Jose Acosta. He almost made it. I think Acosta just saved too much gas. I don't know. I think that maybe, you know, once Severa knew he can make it, we saw that. He knew he could make it. Jose, I don't think he had the necessary information. His crew wasn't telling him the proper information to tell him, hey, stop saving, go, you know?
Absolutely. And kudos to Brian Johnson for actually able to hang on to that 3rd place position. But what about Robert Pattengale coming on with 4th place on the road course? Gary Adamson is going to be trying to trickle on around, and he will be finishing in that 5th place position. Andrew Bedrosian is going to maintain and manage to stay in 6th place with being 9 laps down. Paul Olsen will be in 7th place. He's shown some 11 laps down. Kenny Powell, 8th, 15 laps down. And Greg Wachinski being shown 22 laps down. That right there is almost going to do it. But, Brian, I got some information here, if I could, regarding this music festival that's going on.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, so basically the 2nd annual Down South Music Festival is July 22nd and 23rd in Opp, Alabama. 2 days of artists and entertainment that is family friendly. The UXO, which is the Ultimate Experience Outdoors, has exclusivity on the nonprofit organization to raise awareness for this organization and funds, as they have 12 hunting events coming up from October to April. Those events take place in Illinois, Virginia, Alabama, Missouri, and Kentucky. So if you are a disabled veteran and know any Gold Star family members, first responders, or anything that would like to participate in that or find out more information, please check them out at their website. That's the UXO. They're on Facebook. That's all I got. And with that, let's go ahead and take a quick pause, get a word from our sponsor, so we can come back and start our post-race coverage.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Ew. Ow. Ew.
Want relief from tough pain without the tough taste? Try Goody's Cool Orange. Goody's fast, Goody's delicious, because pain relief shouldn't be a pain to take. Goody's flavors, taking the pain out of pain relief.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we are now starting our post-race show. We're going to be joined in the booth by our third-place finisher, Brian Johnson. Man, that was a close finish there at the end. You almost caught up there to Jose Acosta. Got loose on the exit for that final turn. Still, I mean, able to finish third. I mean, still a nice podium. How are you feeling, Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, I'm feeling all right. Yeah, I thought I was going to be able to run down Jose there at the end, but pushed it a little bit too hard the last corner, and I just whiffed it. But congrats, Chris, on the win. He definitely had the speed and the field covered this weekend. So
Yeah, that he did for sure, and was even able to turn some lap times that were very close to what we saw on that Thursday series. Now, how did that help you out? You know, you were there for the butt kicker series. Do you feel like that was instrumental in your ability to be successful here tonight?
sure, yeah, definitely it helps with the consistency. You know, I was able to put down some decent laps. You know, nothing like Chris, but for me, I was able to put in some practice. And like I said, from Thursday, the butt kicker series, that practice there really helped a lot. So, yeah, overall, a decent day, a podium finish. I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely a great job for you. Unfortunately, not able to wrangle that second place away, but I mean, still kind of a little bit of a, I guess, a curveball for you guys here tonight with that caution coming out a little bit early. What was the thought process there? I mean, were you not going to try to save it? You just were like, I'm just going to go down pit road and take that gas.
Yeah, I did wanted to play it safe. I needed to do something. I saw Chris, he didn't pit there at the end, and I went ahead and topped off. According to my calculator, I was about a half lap short anyways, so I figured I would do a Hail Mary and hope those guys ran out of gas. So I think Jose ran out going across the finish line. But Chris was able to save just enough to pull off the W.
Sounds like Chris was cheating. That's my thought on it. Because I don't see how Jose was slowing down and saving so much gas. Definitely was didn't. I'm surprised that he ran out of gas. That's for sure. But excellent job to you tonight, getting that third place finish, man. I know next week going to be, I do believe, New Atlanta, the actual super speedway version of Atlanta, going to be making its debut here in the ISCA. How are you feeling about that?
Not very good. I'm not a fan of the super speedway racing. That it's fun to watch, but it's pretty stressful in the race. But ran a few laps yesterday and last night, just kind of get feel of it. I think it's going to be a good show as long as everybody calms down and give and take. So we'll see. We'll see.
That we will. We will definitely see. Well, Brian, who can we shout out tonight after your third place finish?
Yeah, shout out to Tucson Sound Art. You guys up in the booth. You guys always do a fantastic job. Kenny, Southern Spiral Pipe, and the guys back in G&G.
I wouldn't say we did a fantastic job tonight. I think we were having a lot of a myriad of issues, if you will. But we definitely appreciate I definitely appreciate you saying that still. But thanks for your time, Brian, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Next up, we're going to have Jose Acosta, the man who was able to hold on to second place even after charging Brian Johnson was coming up there behind him. Was trying to save as much as he could, ran out there towards the end. Jose, how are you feeling, man? You definitely seem like you had a really good car here tonight.
Listen, I feel like I won this race because I'm actually racing with a broken finger.
Oh, wow.
And I managed. I was actually my ring finger is actually fractured, so I had to shift with my index finger and have it like in a weird angle the whole race. So with that said, I don't know how Chris saved so much gas. My gas calculator was kind of acting up, and it was telling me that I had enough, and then it would tell me like I was short for like 2.0. I'm like, what the hell? And then it would go back and forward. So I was confused. That's why I was saving so much. And then still at the end, I ran out of gas. I saw Brian, he was going really fast. If he didn't spawn out where he did, he would have passed me right at the checker flag. But I mean, finished second, and I'm just glad.
Yeah, with a broken finger, that's pretty impressive, man, to be able to do that. I mean, especially at a road course where shifting is so much of a thing. I mean, in an oval, you wouldn't even really have to worry about it quite as much. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I
crazy to
mean,
see you overcome something like that.
I have the picture right there on Discord. I throw it out there for you guys to see. I actually have one of those metal thing holding my ring finger. So it was quite a challenge. I did practice a little bit yesterday with like this. So I got comfortable, and second is a victory for me.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good point stake. Just considering, I mean, a lot of guys didn't make their way out onto the racetrack here tonight, so definitely going to help you, make your way up the point standings, man. Great job to you, second place. How you feeling though? We got that Atlanta Super Speedway coming up here shortly.
Man, I don't got no idea. You know, this car new. We did race Atlanta, but obviously not with the new configuration. So I don't know. I mean, it's a super speedway. It's like any other super speedway. You just gotta chill the whole race till I guess the last lap. Make sure if you see a big wreck, trying to avoid it, and make sure you at the end.
That's right. You definitely have to be available at the end of this. At the end of that, definitely a very stark contrast from going from a road course to a track like that. We can't wait to see it though, considering it'll be the first time we've seen that race on the service. Definitely looking forward to it, man. Well, who can we shout out to you after a second place finish?
Uh, I'm gonna shout out to my son right here that he actually let me race. He was playing Fortnite next to me, so he did behave. And shout out to you guys. You doing a good broadcast and to the league.
All right, well, we definitely appreciate your time, Jose, and look forward to seeing you next week, man. Um, Big Al, you want to take an interview here with our winner here, Chris Severa?
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, how's it going? This is Big Al.
Yo.
So definitely, you come out, you dominated the first two stages, and Brian asked you the tough questions there. So exactly, you said your car wasn't rotating. I think at the end of stage one, but obviously, I think you got that figured out, right? So what did you actually do to get it to turn for you?
I didn't change anything. It was still the same car.
Yeah, definitely saw that you picked your speed up there once you realized that you had enough gas to make it through the end, even posting your fastest lap of the race there within the last 10 laps of the race. So, man, it seemed like you were having fun. Is that the case?
Yeah, it was just it was difficult with managing the fuel. We really had to back off. The goal was really just to back off as much as we could to save as much gas early so we could go as soon as possible. Um, so I was watching the calculator and seeing how much we were able to save every lap, and then once Jose got in front of me, it was a little bit more difficult. But at the same time, I just tried to use the slipstream down all the straights here, and yeah, once I knew if I got a gap, I would be able to back off more and save the rest that I needed to. I kind of just took it, and then yeah, we just met our threshold and we just went.
So, I got a question. When you were actually making that pass on Jose there, you actually got a quite like at least a car and a half distance away. Was that actually to break that side draft, or were you just trying to get distance?
Yeah, you still want a side draft going down the straights, and then I just wanted to pull away so I could make sure he didn't side draft me back, so I could be clear of him going into one there.
All right. Well, definitely not a lot of help as we are getting ready to go into Atlanta next week. You're probably going to have to put in quite a bit of work to get that set up right. What are going to be some of the biggest challenges you think you're going to face there with G&G going into Atlanta next week?
Definitely 100% other people. That track is just it's a shorter iRacing super speedway. I really think it's a joke of a track, but at the same time, it's going to be interesting because tires wear there a whole lot more than any other super speedway. So it's going to be a different kind of super speedway racing that we've ever done. But I think Brian was saying, it just comes down to everyone else. Just everyone just needs to relax and make it to the end.
So you anticipating it's going to be? You think it's going to be a wreck fest? You think it's going to be a bunch of little big ones? Well, I mean, what are we looking forward to here?
Either it's going to be a wreck fest, or everyone's just going to sit in single file line, and it's just going to be a draft fest the whole way. But yeah.
Sounds like either way we're gonna have a fest.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Mark it your calendars. Next week is going to be a fest. Well, Chris, congratulations for a dominating performance here tonight. I mean, you pretty much led the majority of the laps, with the exception of when you were conserving. Hats off to Jose for what he did, but you definitely were the man to beat, and you proved that once again. Congratulations. That's got to feel pretty good before we let you go. But who would you like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first and foremost, big shout out to Jose for showing up and fucking racing with the broken finger. That's amazing in of itself. Everybody, Gas and Go, Fan Attack for the gear, Advanced Sim Racing, Apex Sim Racing, Tucson Sound Art for sponsoring the series, Team Watson Racing, and also you guys up in the booth. Appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate you. Appreciate you as well, Mrs. Severi. Congratulations again, and we're looking forward to seeing you next weekend. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Happy Independence Day. And Brian, I'm gonna pass it on back over to you.
Definitely appreciate you there, Big Al. Great job as always here tonight. Everybody out there did a great job in the race as well. Kept it very clean. We saw some little bit of drama going on out there. We saw some guys that have some problems. We didn't go a week without seeing someone with I'd say a loose wheel, if that's the best way to describe what we saw with Kenny Powell earlier. But still was a great race here. Glad that everybody that did show up, and we definitely appreciate everybody out there tuning in. And as Chris just kind of said, big shout out to Tucson Sound Art for coming on board as our series sponsor. Definitely very interesting product that those guys have there. Making it to where your art literally comes alive to where it's got sound to it. Just such a unique idea. But we appreciate everybody out there tuning in. I do believe that about does it for everybody around here tonight. Make sure you tune in on Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be going live there, and we'll definitely be excited to see what that new configuration of Atlanta looks like. And also make sure you tune in on Saturday. We'll be able to see that once again, as a lot of the guys that do participate in that Thursday series going to be a little bit more acclimated for that Saturday race, so that could be an even better race. We'll have to wait and see, but also that race will be probably going right around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But as always, we appreciate everybody out there tuning in, and everyone have a great night. And as Big Al said, happy 4th of July weekend, happy Independence Day.